Welcome to Gemini. We are doing a little Gemini check-in like I've done with previous months, and I want us to talk about some stuff that I want us to be aware of now in Gemini season. Gemini is a very important. So when I do these sort of episodes, monthly check-in, they're very spiritual to me. I use wisdom, Kabbalistic wisdom, to help us focus on what is important this month and windows of opportunities. Now, we could sit here and talk all week because Gemini is such a very important month. But I'm just going to focus on some pointers because I don't want to overwhelm us. Gemini is the month of unity. I know you're like, what? Hear me out. But unity not in the way you thinking, but unity, what is unity? Gemini, when we look at Gemini, right? It's twins. The symbol is two twins. And there is a certain duality, just like the month of Pisces, which is represented by two fish running often in different direction. You do have that same duality with Gemini, where you've already feel that there's a certain intense energy because it's not just oneness, it's two, but two as one. What that represents is reminding us that unity is not what we think it is. Unity is not the absence of conflict, but unity is pretty much uniting both opposing forces. And this is where Gemini comes in. Gemini is our opportunity to fuse these two opposing forces into one unity, integration. And it's always the opportunity for us, also the opportunity to reveal what is hidden. So now we're just talking about more like food for thought and consciousness to help us understand Gemini and the Gemini energy. I don't know if I can ever do it justice, but we're just going to focus on some pointers. So there is more to Gemini, to this month, but these are just some pointers that I want us to focus on. So Gemini is ruled by Mercury, which is pretty much the energy behind thinking, it's communication, it is day-to-day interaction, as in day-to-day computing information and operating. And one thing that you tend to realize is that right now you're probably feeling that things are going really fast, especially that we have Uranus, which is a higher octave of Gemini. I mean, not Gemini, which is a higher octave of Mercury, as in it's still that heavy. There's you will feel a lot of mind activity, right? So a lot of us I know are feeling this. We're feeling that the things have accelerated, but also there's a lot of momentum in your mind. There's a lot of action. You thinking faster. You have more information. There's more restlessness, intellectual restlessness. And this all comes because this is also the energy that Gemini brings. And a fun fact, it is also during that season that we had the revelation of the Torah, which on the Mount Sinai. And you're like, oh my goodness, Stephanie, is this turning into a religion? No, it's not turning into into a religious class. But I feel like now the truth is slowly coming out where the Torah wasn't necessarily meant to turn into various religion or things like that. It is almost, how can I put it simplistic? It is energy, energetic information It was meant to be as a vehicle to transport that energy, some certain energetic information to us. Now, this is so hard for me to talk about this because honestly, how do you use language to talk about the unseen? How do you use language, our limited language, to talk about the metaphysical world? So this is my struggle right now. This is why I find it so hard when you're trying to put words onto these things. So the Torah, which in Christianity also is very much the Old Testament, was never really meant to be a book of stories that often don't even make any sense, let's be for real. And for people to follow those stories word by word. So one thing I learned is that there are different levels. So of course, you have some people that are gonna follow those stories and the Torah like literally, and this is what most religions, most of the Abrahamic religions they do. They follow the stories very literally, and they come up with a bunch of set rules to shame people or to pressure people into following these rules because it is followed by the book. And there's different levels to that. And there's another level where we understand that these are codes, energetic codes, and then you let them transform you. And also understanding that those stories are codes because it wasn't safe to reveal the secrets in open air like that. Even when you open the, even when you, even fun fact, when you opening the Bible, you see, whenever you listening to Jesus talking of various things he says, which fun fact, by the way, it's very well accepted that Jesus was also all part of this group of people that the goal was to spread light. And then later on, it turns into a religion, but we're not gonna get into that today. But even when you're listening at Jesus teaching, it's all parables. It's always cryptic. And in a way, because in a way that the whole Torah, the Bible is literally that too. Everything is cryptic, everything concealing light. And this month, I'm saying all that just to show you how it's in this month that this powerful light was revealed. And it's not just something that happened randomly, whether it happened or not, or how it happened or not, thousands of years ago. The point is that same energy is still available to you today. And again, it's all in alignment with what I said before. We're all feeling this heavy restlessness. There's a lot of information that is trying to come in fast, fast. And I think it's interesting how Uranus also entered Gemini right now, right? Uranus could have entered any other season, but it's what's happening right now. The beautiful triangle we have in the sky right now is all taking place and all aligning. We're switching season, all aligning during Gemini season, which is Gemini, the month where we had the revelation of light. So you have to understand those patterns are not random. Those patterns are, again, because everything is energy, everything represents something. Even something as simple as the days of the week, they all represent a different energy. Nothing is random, and that's why it's absolutely beautiful. So let's ground this a little bit because I don't want to turn this into like a philosophical episode. I could talk about these things like all day long. I absolutely love these topics. But I want to make this a bit more grounding for us. What that means is that it's our opportunity to transform our darkness, to transform. What that means is that we do have supportive energy that is helping us get through those hard times. Whenever we feel that we have so much lack in our life, it's literally because we're not seeing the light. It's because we are overpowered by the darkness. And the darkness, like I say in an episode before, where I talk about the purpose of pain, it's the same thing. Darkness is important because that is how the system was made. We need darkness in order to reveal light. The same way that right now I'm recording this is broad daytime. It's like, what time is it now? It is 1 p.m. It's the sun is up in the sky. Yeah, it's a little bit cloudy, but it's daytime. If I go outside on my balcony and light up my lighter, it's not gonna do anything. Okay. But if I do the same action, light up my lighter tonight after the sun sets, when it's 8, 9, 10 p.m., midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., and I light up my lighter on my balcony, my neighbors are probably gonna be like, "What is she doing?" Everyone's gonna be able to see the light because it's gonna it's gonna be revealed. But that light needed the darkness to be revealed. I don't know if you're following me. So this is how the system is done. The light is always there. It's just that sometimes it's concealed. Even when it's nighttime now, the sun is still shining somewhere on the opposite side of the of Earth. It's just that I can't see it where I am right now, right? But somewhere on the other side of the planet can see because it's daytime for them. Right now it's daytime for me. Somewhere on the equator, somewhere it's nighttime. So, but the light is always there. The sun doesn't disappear. The sun doesn't go like, all right, guys, listen, you've made me overwork. I'm done. I'm going on vacation throughout the ether. I'll see you whenever I see you if I decide to come back. No, that doesn't happen. The sun doesn't take vacation like that. So the light is always available. It's just that sometimes there is darkness and we cannot see the light. In order to reveal the light, we need the darkness. And in a way, this is the same thing. I want us to start seeing our challenges, our challenge time as it is. I know it sucks when we're going through rough time, but it's just on the spiritual level, that's just the way the system is done. And in this month of Gemini, it is our we have great supporting energy to help you get through these challenging times in your life and reveal not darkness. We don't want to reveal more darkness, and reveal light, reveal the truth, reveal more, just overcome the lack and the darkness in your life. And the goal again of this month is to help us unify those two opposing forces, right? Darkness and light, and unify them, because one cannot it's a system where one cannot exist without the other, and we need the other to reveal the other side. So there's a lot of possibilities in this month. And also I want to talk about one lack, one darkness that many of us are experiencing nowadays is loneliness. What it is a lack. It is a form of darkness, right? This is where we're bridging those big spiritual concept with real day-to-day life. When we're talking about, oh, there's darkness and we need darkness to reveal light, well, this is an example of darkness. It is that deep loneliness, that loneliness epidemic that we're experiencing. It is a form of darkness. It is a form of light. This is the opportunity, and the thing is, we need to go through the challenge in order to get the blessings. It's just how the system is done for many reasons, not because the creator is this crazy masochistic guy or, in the sky. It's not like that. It's just because at the beginning of creation, we wanted to be able to be like the creator. We wanted to be able to share. We wanted to be able to not just receive infinite light. We wanted to know what it feels like to be able to create, to be able to be like God ourselves. And this is what this whole shebang of circus that we're living in right now, this is what it was all about. It's like that because we're not doing our spiritual work, because we're just like living like, very reactively, because we're letting our selfishness take over, because we're letting our Satan takes over. I talk about that in the previous episode if you want to know more about that. But this system was like a gym in a way, a gym that was that was reinstated in order to give us the opportunity to go through the workout and reveal our gains and reveal. So it's the same thing, right? Then this month is giving us a great opportunity. If you someone who's experiencing loneliness, it is the great opportunity to strengthen your certainty in the light, because the certainty is very, very important. And to keep having a great desire and then asking the light to help you, to send you someone to get you closer to finding your person, that person that you can share life with, that person that you can reveal greater light with. But you need to have certainty beyond logic. You need to have trust. You need to truly believe that it is possible for you, because doubt, again, is a form of darkness. It is like those weed in the garden that once it sprouts, it just overwhelms the entire garden. And here we go. That's it. We just kill all the beautiful flowers that we're trying to sprout. So we need to have absolute certainty beyond logic and really trust that there is a system to the madness that we see out there, because our senses are limited, and we need to understand and trust that the universe has our back. The same way that the tree doesn't worry about, yes, we know the tree doesn't have bill to pay. Maybe they do and we don't know. But the same way the tree, I'm always in awe with the trees, honestly. They have such surrendering capacities. It's just, they just surrender to the rhythm of life. And somehow they're provided for, right? The universe still showers rain on them. They're fed. They believe that, they understand that they're part of the system, and that there is a greater power that is there to support them. But somehow we have intelligence, but we use it as a self-sabotage tool instead of putting it to a greater use, and also understanding that that same divine intelligence is also there to support us, also has our good intention. When we go through the challenges, I know it's hard when we're going through them per se, but when we go through the challenges, we need to understand that it's like the mother that wants the kid to eat the vegetables. The mother doesn't hate the kids. The kid might feel that in the moment, but it's because the mother knows that those vegetables are good for the kid. Cannot let the kid just eat chocolate cookie ice cream all day long. So in a way, our system is the same way. Those challenges, those dark times that we go through, they are our gym. So now, on another note, like I said before, Mercury is speed. You're going to have a lot of information download, a lot of insights, which is beautiful, right? So be receptive to that. A lot of, even already, we've only been a few days. There's also the Kabbalistic calendar that is heavily lunar, but it can often be a little bit ahead of the regular calendar, the Gregorian calendar that most societies are based on, right? In our world. So when I make these recording, whenever I talk about, sometimes we're not there yet, but when I'm releasing this, we would already have been in Gemini, so it doesn't even matter. So what I'm saying, the reason why I'm saying all this is because I've already gotten lots of insights that just already starting to shape my life in a different direction. So be receptive to that, to the insights, because this month is fertile ground for them. That it's almost like there's a cosmic gate that is open, and you have this capacity to download greater insight and greater light and greater direction. Also need, all the purpose of that is to help you transform the darkness, right? But also just be careful that you don't let yourself get crippled by overstimulation. It's like I'm getting more and more strict with the content I consume. For example, I don't go on social media, but I go on YouTube. When I go on YouTube, I'm very specific about what I'm looking for. And now I do have 2, 3 channels that I consume, and I'm very strict about what I let into my brain. I also do encourage you to have an audit about the type of information you consume because it is going to go faster. And then you cannot let yourself be a victim of the algorithm of what, because the algorithm doesn't necessarily have your best interest at heart. So if you are constantly being bombarded by trash content, then guess what? It just means that your entire space gonna get overstimulated and at full capacity, and then you don't have any space to be receptive for the downloads that truly matter. So be aware of that, okay? And like I said before, we do have the light and the darkness, and then we need to remember that the light is always there. And it's you never ever alone, okay? You never alone. So what you can also do is a visualization, and really whenever you feel like you're in darkness, you can close your eyes and visualize and seeing that white energy force that is surrounding your aura and that is slowly expanding into the darkness and taking over into the darkness and revealing light. That is something like a quick visualization, quick meditation that I do sometimes whenever I also feel like it's very heavy, there's too much noise where I am, or too much stimulation where I am, and that way it can also help me be ground myself back to my center. And also, this month is a great month to learn something new, invest into yourself, and understand that it's all part of the greater community, right? By investing into yourself, then you have something to give back and invest back into society, into our greater community, because we are pretty much entering the age, well, with Pluto in Aquarius right now, and with the trine and the sextile that are forming in the sky, it is pretty much, the focus is pretty much heavily on the community as a whole. So this is your chance. This is a great opportunity where you can expand your consciousness. You do have the support of the universe to help you expand your consciousness, go deeper, all in the greater purpose, for the greater good. Because by expanding yourself, you don't realize that, but you're actually having a huge impact on the greater field of consciousness. And also you have more you can contribute later, even on an aware level. You can you can contribute back to society. But even just being more aware of how you operate in the world and deciding to be more intentional, even this has a great impact on shifting the scale of our world and adding more positivity into the field. We are all interconnected right now. One last thing I want to wrap up. I know this monthly episode is a bit different than the other one, that I never know what's going to come out. Honestly, it's just, this is what I'm getting for this one. And also I wanted to say Gemini is amazing, but there can be this tendency not wanting to face things or always chasing the next thing. We need to also be aware to commit to things and see them through till the end, right? The energy is amazing to support us, to learn new things, to reveal more light, but we need to also be focused and not putting conflicts under the rug, but to face them. You will be rewarded when you do that. And then the universe is going to support you more, because this is the energy that we are basking in right now and in the foreseeable future. And I want to end by saying, pay attention to how you use your words, right? Gemini, the shadow side of Gemini, tend to be a lot of gossip. Information just finds Gemini. They're not even looking for it. I personally know a lot of Gemini people, absolutely brilliant, but it's always fascinating how they just fall for the hanging fruit, and it's just very consume into gossiping and just sharing information about other people. So be careful about that, because remember that your words create your world. in your words is one of the most powerful manifesting tool that you have. On that note, my love, just wanted to remind you that all my booking links are down below if you wanted to for us to go over your personal transit, your birth chart, or anything that you are going through in life right now. We could use spirituality and astrology to help you find your path, find your way to help guide you. On that note, I will see you in the next one. And thank you so much for checking in. Keep shining bright like a diamond. Bye.